All right. Is that good? Good. First off, you got to give Buzz and Wilmington a ton of credit. Um, they struggled early in the year. And, got some younger guys, got some upper class guys. They had won 3 out of 4 games heading into this game, and probably should have won at Marshall. They're playing well right now, and probably did enough things during this game to win the game. So you got my hats off to them. They played extremely hard, did a great job of stretching our defense, made some tough shots, and did a great job on the glass. At the same time, I'm not pleased with the way we played, but I'm pleased with the way we finished. Our execution in the last 5 minutes was exceptional, both defensively and offensively, where we could have hung our head and lost one. We found a way to win. So you got to take some positives out of that. At the same time, you also have to take a long look at where we need to improve on, and not only as a staff and as a head coach, but as players, we need to embrace that. And we need to get better in some critical areas over these next 3 weeks for us to continue the progress that we've made up to this point. It was a hard-fought game, and we made some big plays down the stretch. And as I said, not necessarily pleased with our overall performance, but pleased with the way we finished the game.
Coach, how big was the 4-point play by Marcus when you were down 5?
That was big. That was big, and I don't exactly remember the entire action off it, but a good extra pass. He was ready to shoot. I thought that as a freshman, to have the confidence to to take that shot and to knock that down, showed a lot. He had not played as well up to that point. He was in some foul trouble, which, sometimes when freshmen get in foul trouble, it kind of knocks them off out of sorts a little bit. And I thought you saw that today with Marcus, but he also showed a great amount of maturity in not letting it continue the whole game. Because in the last 6 or 7 minutes, I don't know what the time was when he hit that, how much time there was, but he played exceptionally well down the stretch for us.
Can you talk a little bit last year? This was the type of game the maturity of the sort of four players.
Yeah, I think you're right, Matt. Again, it's hard always to evaluate and look at last year or whatever. We probably would not have won this game last year. At the same time, we need to keep moving forward, and we need to, be a little more mature in our approach. We started off the game well, and sometimes right now, that's not good for us. We kind of get comfortable, and we need to be a gritty, tough, blue-collar type team to be successful. And sometimes when things are easy on offense, we tend to, kind of play in a different flow than that, and that's not over a 40-minute stretch what we need.
Wilson was sort of a thorn in your sides, man.
Sort of. We left him open a couple times. He's a good player. He can really shoot the ball. Very heady player, and he took advantage of some mistakes off the ball to get the ball. So we were late getting to him a couple times. But they stretched us on their ball screen stuff. We got to keep working on our coverages on that, because with our big guys' athletic ability and size, we should be much better. I was not pleased with our guards in defending that. Again, a little bit of a toughness factor that you have to fight over those ball screens. You're going to get hit a little bit. There's going to be contact. You can't stop. And so that's just an area, again, that we need to improve in. Well, we got good size inside, and we kept fresh guys on him. He's a good player. And, gosh, he almost came up with a big offensive rebound for them there at the end. But I think our size hurt him a little bit. And we stayed on top of him the whole time. We never he's so good at sealing off and ducking in. You know, if we had that type of effort, and if we could have matched that on the perimeter, it wouldn't have. I'd be feeling a lot better right now. But he's a good player. You can see why he's a double-double guy almost consistently. But I think it bodes well for Wilmington because I'm not sure they're going to have teams that have as 4 big guys like we have that can rotate those fresh bodies.
In those final 5 minutes, when they said, you know, like, what do you attribute the credit to
Well, we got some stops. I think that one of the big plays is we went to a different coverage on the ball screen, and we what we call fired it, and that's a hard double team. We forced a turnover. The next possession, we did the same thing and forced another turnover. You can't live on that coverage for 40 minutes. And as I said, in practice, you don't get to work on that as much as, you know, traditional coverages. So for our guys to execute that well was really, really good. And then on the offensive end, you know, just yesterday we, you know, worked on some end-of-game plays. And we talked to the guys about, you know, we haven't necessarily had to use them, but we got to make sure we execute them. And to the guys' credit, you know, two straight possessions, we scored on those plays. But those 2 turnovers on the ball screen led us to get the ball out, and, you know, we got to B. Reed missed a shot, and I think Robert got the offensive rebound and put it back in. If we can defend, even though our defense wasn't great tonight, but if they got half their misses in the first half, if we can shore up the rebounding, and you guys have heard me say it till you want to throw up probably, if we can shore up the rebounding, we will become much better offensively. We scored 73 points tonight without defensive rebounding the ball, so our break wasn't as good as it can be.
And that, I imagine, the biggest concern for you efforts, the 7 offensive and the second chance. Really made a difference for them in the first half. They were able to take the game.
As I said, at halftime, that was the big thing. They had half of their misses, they had rebounded. And sometimes, you know, you emphasize stuff and you talk about it. Now we gotta go out there and do it. You know, I thought we talked about Marcus. I thought you saw, you know, Robert probably play his best game at this particular point. Scoring inside, made a couple nice jump shots as well. 6 defensive rebounds is important, and at the same time, I think he can play even better. And we're going to need him to do that, and that's going to be very, very important for our progress as a team.
On the same subject, you also talked about wanting the guards to get involved on boards, and Brandon did a pretty decent job with boards tonight.
Yeah, he did, and there was a point where, you know, I think Mufon is still slowed by that injury, and I thought it affects him a little more defensively than offensively. We went about a 3-minute stretch with Brandon at the point. I thought that was good for us. I thought our guys responded well to that. But again, we need to get, you know, those perimeter guys defensive rebounding the ball. Marcus had 5, and Brandon had 4, and Jason Morris had 6. So those guys responded pretty well on the defensive glass for us. We need to get other guys, and you know, our depth is important because today we didn't get a lot out of camp, you know, and you know, now Robert needed to step up, and I was proud of the way he played.
You mentioned that Marcus was struggling. Second half, he hit a couple of shots coming across the lane. Were those plays set for him?
Yeah, and he, you know, again, you know, as we continue to move forward, those guys, the freshmen in particular, will find and get, you know, even yesterday in practice, get more comfortable in where they can really be aggressive to make shots or create shots for other guys. And you know, hopefully over these next 3 weeks with a lot of practice time, a lot of film work, a lot of individual stuff, that they'll get even better. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a little risky. At the same time, the element of surprise probably helped a little bit. We had used it only once before, and that was against St. Mary's with, you know, however he says his name, Della Ladova or whatever. And we just did it a couple times on him, and that was you know, successful. So again, the guys have to execute it, and the guys get the credit. They got our guys get the credit for this win with the way they responded in those last 5 minutes. I thought they came out in the start of the second half and was very good. What we need to do once we get that lead up to, I think it got up to 7, maybe 6 or 7. That's when you need to extend that and give Wilmington credit, because we kind of hit them with a knockout punch and they responded well and tied the game back up, and then obviously eventually took the lead on us. You know, appreciate the question, but, you know, out of respect for Josh, I'm going to leave the statement on its own, and you know, nothing further on that right now.